money talks, and in professional rugby, it can change everything. Imagine winning a Rugby World Cup with the All Blacks, wearing that legendary black jersey and standing at the top of sport, only to walk away from it all. So why did Malakai Fekitoa, a rising star in New Zealand rugby, trade the prestige of the All Blacks for the unpredictable world of European rugby? Was it about money, opportunity, or something much deeper? Let's break down the real story behind this shocking decision. Malakai Fekitoa was a fan favourite, an explosive centre with a devastating step, raw power, and an ability to change games in an instant. Born in Tonga, he had already overcome enormous obstacles before making it to the highest level. Moving to New Zealand as a teenager, he developed into a rugby sensation at Wesley College, the same school that produced legends like Jonah Lomu. His performances for Auckland and the Highlanders made him impossible to ignore, and by 2014 he was wearing the black jersey, living every young rugby player's dream. Fekitoa was part of the All Blacks squad that won the 2015 Rugby World Cup, playing alongside some of the greatest names in New Zealand rugby. Over his international career, he earned 24 test caps for New Zealand between 2014 and 2017, scoring 8 tries. His debut came against England at Eden Park, where he immediately showcased his dynamic running game and defensive strength. His physicality and ability to break the defensive line made him a crucial player in the midfield, especially in a period when New Zealand was transitioning from the golden generation of Ma'anonu and Conrad Smith. Despite facing tough competition for a starting spot, he remained a valuable squad member, bringing impact off the bench and stepping up when needed. He seemed set for a long international career, but in 2017, at just the age of 25 years old, when most players would be fighting to secure their place in the national team, he made a stunning decision. He left, not just the All Blacks, but New Zealand rugby entirely. At the time, many fans were confused. Why would a player in his prime walk away from the world's best team? The simple answer: money. New Zealand rugby has a major problem. It cannot compete against the financial power of European clubs. While playing for the All Blacks is the pinnacle of the sport, it doesn't come with the kind of massive paychecks that players can get overseas. The New Zealand Rugby Union operates under a centralised contract system that offers good but not extravagant salaries. Top-tier All Blacks earn between $400,000 and $600,000 per year, and while that's a solid paycheck, it pales in comparison to what's on offer in France and England, and even Japan. When Toulon came knocking in 2017, they weren't just offering Fekitoa a chance to play in Europe. They were offering him life-changing money. Reports suggested his contract with the French Giants were worth over $1 million New Zealand dollars per season, almost double what he could make in New Zealand. For a player like Fekitoa, who grew up with little and had huge family to support, the decision wasn't just about his own career. It was about securing the future of his loved ones. He'd spoken openly about the financial pressures that shaped his choice. Born into a large Tongan family, he was one of 13 siblings. By the time he was 14, he had already lost his father and his 2 siblings. His family was struggling, and he knew rugby was the only path to helping them. Even when he made it as a professional, the responsibility didn't stop. Fekitoa revealed that he supports not just his mother, but also his younger siblings, nieces and nephews. Nearly 30 family members around the world. That level of financial pressure is hard to comprehend. And when Toulon put their offer on the table, he knew he had to take it. His move to France wasn't just about the money, though Fekitoa has also fallen out of favour with the All Black selectors. Despite his talent, New Zealand is an ultra-competitive rugby environment. If you're not consistently at your best, there's always young stars ready to take your spot. The All Blacks are known for their ruthless selection policies, and Fekitoa found himself slipping down the pecking order. He later admitted that watching the All Blacks after leaving was tough, because he knew he was capable of more. But he also knew that once he'd made the decision, there was no looking back. Life in France wasn't easy at first. Moving from New Zealand to Europe is a major adjustment, both culturally and linguistically. Fekitoa described his early days in France as scary, struggling to adapt to a new lifestyle and language. But once he settled, he thrived. French rugby is different from Super Rugby. More physical, more methodical, but Fekitoa's power and explosive running style made him a perfect fit. After a few seasons in France, he took his talents to England, signing with Wasps in the Premiership. Again, the financial incentives were clear. European clubs offer not just higher salaries, but also additional benefits like housing allowances, car leases, and performance bonuses. The total compensation package for top players in Europe can easily surpass 1.5 million New Zealand dollars per year, something New Zealand rugby simply cannot match. Fekitoa's journey didn't stop there. After Wasps, he continued to move through Europe, playing in Ireland, and now in Italy with Benetton. His career has been defined by adaptability, resilience, and a willingness to take risks that most players wouldn't. And despite leaving New Zealand rugby, he's never forgotten his roots. In 2022, when a massive volcano eruption and tsunami devastated Tonga, Fekitoa stepped up in a big way. He led fundraising efforts and personally helped raise over €50,000 for relief initiatives. It was a powerful reminder that his decision to chase financial security wasn't just about him. It was about his entire community. The bigger picture here is that Fekitoa is not an outlier. More and more players are leaving New Zealand for the financial security of Europe and Japan. The reality is, rugby is a business. Careers are short, injuries are frequent, and players have to think about life after the game. The traditional loyalty to the All Blacks jersey is being challenged by the sheer financial incentives that overseas clubs provide. This trend raises big questions for New Zealand rugby. Can they afford to keep losing top talent, or will they have to rethink their contract structures to compete with European clubs? The current system relies on national pride and the honour of playing for the All Blacks, but at some point, money becomes impossible to ignore. For Fekitoa, the move paid off. He has secured his financial future, continued playing at the high level, and experienced rugby in multiple countries. But there's always a price. He sacrificed a longer All Blacks career, and while he had talent to earn 50 plus test caps, he finished with just 24. Still, he has no regrets. He made a choice and backed himself 100%. So the next time you see an All Black leaving overseas, remember, it's not just about rugby. It's about the life-changing decisions, family, financial security, and the reality that New Zealand rugby can't afford to ignore. Will New Zealand rugby ever solve this problem? With more players making the move, New Zealand rugby faces a serious dilemma. Should they restructure their pay scale? Should they allow players based overseas to play for the All Blacks like South Africa does? It's a debate that won't go away anytime soon, and the future of New Zealand rugby could depend on it. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Malakai Fekitoa's journey, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more rugby stories and insights. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Should New Zealand rugby change its policies? Or is the current system the best way to keep the All Blacks strong? Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.